epizoda Soba podcasta. Sa nama je danas gospodin Perun Kovačević. Nažalost, on nije mogao da bude danas sa nama, on je u Oslu trenutno, ali će nam se pridružiti u sledećoj epizodi. Should we continue in English? Yes?
Yes.
So, tell me the first thing I want to know actually, because I'm a great fan of Slavic mythology, the name.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the name?
So, when my father was 16 years old, he was reading through old Slavic mythology books, and he just came across the god Perun, and immediately knew. He's like, this is what I'm going to name my first son.
Yeah, it's a strong name.
It's a strong, very strong name. It's weird to me that, in Serbia I go everywhere, people ask me my name, and they all are very familiar, with the historical context, but everybody goes the biblical route. People don't really, use those early pagan names as much over here.
Because the Christianization here came very late,
right.
And a lot of those customs and the old ways are still present here in some villages.
Right.
So that's why people know it's close to them.
Right.
Because in other countries, when Christianity came, that's it. You erase everything and start from this. Here, the dude, Svetislav, I guess, did a great thing and put some Slavic root stuff into Christianity and created this Orthodox Pravoslavlje.
Yes.
So a lot of customs and names left. But when I heard your name, I was like, damn. And you brought the rain.
I'm bringing the thunder next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I'm learning, as I've been here, I'm learning more about how Orthodoxy has preserved a lot of the pagan cultures, and they're still mixed in. And there's some saints now that still relate. I think Sveti Ilya is the closest to Perun because it's the
thunder god, the thunder saint.
Thunder saint, exactly. So, if you look closely enough, you can see that we didn't lose much, but things have just changed.
Yeah. Worked into something else, so it's good.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was the turning point for you in America to I'm going to Gradište now? Because people from here, they have this tendency to go to bigger cities, to other countries, to other continents, in search of a better life, if you can call that a better life, because I think it's a bit busy. So how did you just sit one morning I'm going to Gradište?
It's been in the plans for a while. I think ever since my mid-20s, I had this itch to say, okay, I really want to deeply connect more with the people, the culture, learn the language fully. I am Serbian. This is where my family and my roots come from. And I don't really identify with America in general. Like we were just talking about a little earlier, there isn't this deeply ingrained culture. So everybody wants to know where they came from, where their mentality originated from. And I know that mine, especially after taking my DNA tests, I'm 100% Serb, no mixed at all, right? So it's like I'm pure-blooded Serb and have not only this desire to learn more about my culture and people, but to spend time in the land in a way that, would change my whole lifestyle. And of course, basic human psychology, people born in a slow place, they want to go more action and quicker. People born in a fast place, I want to slow things down. Always lived in New York, never left the city, always living at 100 miles an hour, working 3-4 jobs at the same time. I love to work, I love to grind like a real New Yorker. But there came a time to say, okay, we can still work, we can still build something, but let's build something for ourselves, And there's this opportunity in Gradište. Your great-grandpa, originally lived there, but grandpa left this house behind. We can now sell this property and let them build another building, and, Gradište becomes more of a metropolis, or we can try and preserve something for our family, preserve something for the community. Those houses are old historic buildings. They were lederas, so back 100 years ago before refrigeration, this is where the town stored all of the ice.
Amazing. For the kafanas and stuff.
For the kafanas, that's good. So thick walls, really good construction. It was just for me, it wasn't some barn that was falling halfway apart. This is real historical value that belonged to my family. And it's okay, I've always had the desire to go to Serbia. I have this project ahead of me. I have a remote job, working in project management in the IT industry. it only makes sense to now execute the plan.
What was the feeling when you first set foot on that property? How did you felt right there? It's like for you, it has a wow meaning, you know.
Yeah.
You were in Serbia. You came to your, you say that Dedovina.
Yeah, yes.
What was the feeling when you first set foot on that ground?
I felt honestly like I was home. You know, and I was right. Technically, this is my family's home. I was able to buy the other portion of the property that didn't belong to us from my grandfather's aunt. Exactly. So now we own the whole property. And, you know, even on the first day, I took a hammer and I just started going at the facade to make my mark, you know, on day one.
I'm here now.
I'm here. This is mine. I can destroy it. I can build it. I can do what I want with it. And luckily, I had a great neighbor who was very close to my grandfather, just super welcoming. And yeah, that first day, I can say I felt great. I felt like I was meant to do that. Was meant to be here, and was excited for what was to come. You know, the next few days, next few weeks. So.
You're working how long now? You're here for
3.5 months.
3.5 months.
Yeah, so I came mid-March.
Yeah. Oh, a great time.
Yeah, it was an awesome time. Right before the busy season. Now this area of Serbia, of course, gets much more packed out with Golubats and all of the people, visiting the region. But Gradište itself stays pretty quiet.
Yeah.
You have the Jezero, and you have people coming to Gradište when there's a need.
Yeah.
But mostly quiet. Yeah.
I used to work in Gradište for 3 years. I delivered some goods with the truck. So it was always a welcoming place, you know, because everywhere I stopped, I'm like, yeah, drink some coffee, take it easy, you know, and I'm like, you know, because the truck company was in Belgrade, so I had to go every morning from here to Belgrade and from Belgrade to Gradište, and I was like, I'm in a hurry, dude, I need to deliver this, and they're like, sit, drink some coffee, you know, it's not gonna run away, and I'm like, but then I became a bit older, and I fully acknowledged that thing, like, just take it easy. It will all be done.
Yes.
Just, you know, and when you're in a hurry, you're like nervous and everything is going like with this mindset. You know? So
it's actually nice to hear another Serbian who is adopting the Polako mindset, you know, because you think everybody from here already adopted it. But then again, when you live the busier city life, you know, Niš, Novi Sad, Belgrade, Požarevac, you start to become more of a city person.
Yeah.
It's really in those smaller towns and in the selos where everything is Polako, do it the right way, nothing is running away from you.
Exactly.
But when you of course, you want to get home, you obviously went from here to Belgrade all the way to come back to the region, so.
Yeah, when you finish with Gradište, you go to Belgrade to leave the truck, you know, it's just like, damn.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Your day starts at like 3 or 4 a.m. and ends up at 7 p.m. or something like that. And home you have a wife and a kid. It's wow.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's a lot.
when we settled here, when we came back to Požarevac, it was like, let's just take it easy. We opened this bar, just chill. You know? And the bar has that vibe, you know. Yeah. And a lot of, because I can draw parallel because in this bar, everything that we did, like the painting, the rails, the garden outside, and everything that's done here is done by my wife and I and some friends. So now this place has a soul of its own because we left like blood, sweat, and tears in this. Yes. So I can imagine how it looks like from your angle. Yeah, that property, it's amazing. So,
yeah, it will be something. It will be something that I can say, you know, I've put together and curated my own vibe. You know, I love what you've done with this place. I mean, you have the natural aesthetic from, you know, all of the plants and stuff. And then again, like you have the random furniture. It really reminds me of Brooklyn. It reminds me of home, you know,
nice.
That alternative vibe.
That's a good compliment.
And this is like, it feels like home, you know, so I love what you've done with this place. And that's what I want to do with my place, of course, you know, curate my own vibe, keep it minimalistic, you know, keep it healthy and, not busy. Just, it's a country vibe. Keep it country.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Because in Gradište, if you put something that is, you know, it's not gonna fit in.
It's not meant for that region. Yeah. You know, that region is meant for Polako, and the vibe has to be Polako. So.
What are you planning on doing?
So I'm actually going to be opening up a business. It'll be about 4 to 6 bedrooms. At the minimum 4, at the max 6, because I do have the basement and the podkrovlje in both of the houses. So if I can get to building everything out, then I have up to 6 rooms where I'll be curating an experience for people who are visiting Serbia or people who live in Serbia who need to get away from the big cities, which will include training, so functional training, martial arts based, it'll be outdoor, then a spa, right? So you'll have a sauna, cold plunge, darkness room. So you get your working, then you get your relax, massage as well, a couple other amenities there, and then go out into the nature. So some days we go to Jeddah, we do a big hike. Other days we spend on the river, just relaxing. Most days we're cooking, food on the premises in the outdoor kitchen, making steaks and it's really good meat dishes.
I saw something on Instagram, I guess, with the neighbors and the locals there. You made a really big party in the yard. It's a good thing, and people here love to party, but in a dead way. They don't like. Well, there's some people that do, but it's more of an experience to have an outdoor party in the middle of the day and just get shit-faced with everything.
Yes.
It's a Serbian mentality.
100%. And the guys that I've connected with in Gradište are all, anywhere actually from 13 years old. These are the kids that helped me build a house, to anywhere people in 70s. But the people that I really spend a good amount of time with in the kafanas, they're all rocker. You call them old school rocker guys. And so they're always about doing stuff outdoors, whether we're going to sit by the Pek River, but also better, when is the next backyard session? We bring out the speakers, play some old school rock, eat, drink, we're on the floor by 3 o'clock. But yeah, it's, real sort of partying, I guess you could say, right? Where the whole community comes together and there's nothing artificial about it. Just real pure chill session. So
stripped down, just plain basic.
Plain basic. Everybody's themselves, or half of us are barefoot. Roshti is going in the corner. Drinks are in the bathtub that I extracted from the bathroom. Rakija, pivo, vino, šta god, So it's a best vibe, It's really. We could use some more women in Gradište, I'll tell you that.
You're not the first one to say that, actually. Because there's not a lot of women in Gradište. A lot of free women in Gradište.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of free women. I get it. Again, if you're young, you're ambitious, you're trying to get out of Gradište. So a lot of them do make it out. But of course, us older guys, we're hanging out. We're like, it would be nice to have some female company, But we also enjoy each other's company.
Exactly, yeah. Here it's a bit different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here.
Božanovac?
Free people, so
interesting.
take notes.
I have to drive over a few weekends, spend more time working. Yeah.
We are here, you can come. We would love for you to come. We have some acoustic sessions in the making, so we can hit you up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sure, definitely.
So, are you planning on bringing, I guess, your parents here, sisters? Why don't you have sisters?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters and just my mom. My father passed away 20 years ago.
Okay.
So my mom lives with my twin in New York, and my older sister lives in London with her 1-year-old baby and her husband. And the idea is every year it would be nice for them to come to Gradište for a month for us to spend family time there. Will it happen? I don't know. Right? Everybody has their own plans in their own head, their own family, their own stuff going on. So my main concern is building my business, but then also, it's a never-ending project, right? The house will always need other stuff, and also finding my own relaxation because, I don't know if this business will be enough to take me out of working remotely in the IT industry, So I have to see, will this become a side job or will it become primary business? And then what's really going to be done during the winter, right? I think I have an apartment in Belgrade, so I'll be spending most of my winter days there because Gradište is a little bit dead and cold. And Belgrade, there's just more action and more stuff going on. I like to play basketball, so I play in a few different leagues in the winter in Belgrade. So
nice.
Still trying to stay active, do judo, do basketball, all that stuff. So
because in the winter people sometimes they lose it, they get fat.
Yes.
They just it's good, but I think that everybody from a big city should come and just feel the vibe of a smaller community, just chilling all day and drinking, doing nothing, you know?
There's something so pure and relaxing about it. That's why I think it's hard to say I can do this all day, every day for years on end. But getting a taste of it is I think the best balance, you know. And I think everybody in Gradište also agrees with me. They're like, in the winter, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. In the summer, enjoy yourself. Right? We have events going on every weekend. Pasuljada. You know, I mean,
Yeah, you have Gitariada now.
Gitariada is coming in August. So, I mean, there's always something going on. Plus, you know, sports. I train tennis now. I do boxing. So, you know, and those things are cheap, right? You know, in America, a month membership for boxing would cost you $350, $400. Here, it's $100.
Really?
I can play tennis for an hour for $20. You know, with a private coach, that would cost $100 per session in the U.S. at a minimum. So, you know, I can stay active and I can take advantage of the things that I actually don't see people in Gradište taking advantage of. Right? People are so tired and psychologically they're so worn out as well that after work they just want to go home and wrap themselves and turn on the air conditioner and watch TV, or they want to go to the kafana. But taking advantage of all the nature, taking advantage of the Danube, taking advantage of Jeddah, taking advantage of all of the surroundings that we have, it takes almost an outsider's perspective, somebody who's excited about being in a new place. And so, you know, I try to bring as many friends along on that journey to say, hey, like, let's not get drunk every single day, you know, let's not, you know, party every single day. Let's go experience nature. Let's go train. Let's go play sports. Playing on a 3-on-3 tournament, you know, for basketball in 2 weeks. So I think, you know, it all is about balance. So it can't just be about enjoying. It also has to be about the work you're putting in, the building of the house, playing sports, then also enjoying.
Find your place and all of that. Yeah. You know, because Gradište, as well as Požarevac and all these smaller cities in Serbia, except Vojvodina. Vojvodina is chill all year. I think they're the chillest people that live on this fucking earth. And then everything is polako, and it's been like that since forever. You know? And I used to work in some parts of Vojvodina, and I went from like city life in Belgrade to Vojvodina, and I was like lost because the day is short in Belgrade, you know.
Yeah.
I have to finish. If I have to do something, one paper, I have to an hour drive to this place so I can get this. And then, Vojvodina, it's like, yeah, it's 5 minutes walk. Easy. Take some coffee, yes. And some, they call this meat thing. I forgot about it. I'm sorry. So, in Gradište, my first experience with Gradište actually was on that Gitariada, first one 10 years ago. I played on it, and I was amazed because the whole event was placed just right next to the Danube, and it was amazing. We have this thing here, this Gitariada that has like a history of, I don't know, 49, 50 years, something like that. But in Gradište it was a different experience. You know, the organization, the everything was just really different. Because here, some politics got in. You know, it's a bit different now. So more and more people are like just, I don't want to mix that. Yeah. But in Gradište it's still pure. You know, it's still about the music.
Yes.
And the whole like thing. When it's Danube here, it's beer there, it's pot there, and some guy is making pasulj, this big thing, but it's amazing.
Yes.
And there's like, the energy of those people is different.
Yeah.
I remember when we were in Greece, and because a lot of Serbs go to Greece, it's close. But this little town, we found it on some, I don't know, website, and it was like all natives. Dude, that level of chill out there, because they don't do anything. They just go fishing and sell that fish to the restaurants, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get up in the morning, we go fishing, I go back, I sleep, I go to the beach, and that's it. And I like that mindset more and more, you know, because my working day is like nowadays, because we had some problems here, it's 16 hours, you know. And when I finish that kind of stuff, I'm dead.
Yeah.
But when you come home, you have a kid, wife, you have to put in time with them because it would not be fair to them to too, you know. And then I see those people, you know, and I'm like, damn, I'm doing something wrong.
Like, how? Yeah.
So tell me, I guess you, when you came here, you had a lot of contact with our history, and a lot of people here know their history very well. So, what was the fascination with our? Did you have a specific event or a character in our history that you were like, damn, this dude is amazing, or this event was good, or whatever? Something that left you speechless.
I think just in general, the overall history of Serbia since we've gotten to this region, that it's been kind of nonstop conflict, and then relating that to the general Balkan mindset, and just realizing how Serbians are really at their best during times of conflict, because we know how to step up to the same thing you can really see in sports, why we really persevere and find ourselves successful at the big stage, because when it's David versus Goliath, we don't mind being David.
Yeah,
we can.
We actually embrace it.
We embrace it. There's the whole concept of inat, that it's a superpower for us. And so you see that throughout history, right? We've had our backs against the wall since the very start, and we've always come out fighting, and we've always come out victorious in some sense, right? We haven't won every war, we haven't won every battle, but we preserved and maintained our nature and our customs, our beliefs, and I think that's the difference between societies and cultures who find themselves in a depressive state, right?
Yeah.
They, in some senses, have lost their identity through conflict.
Yeah.
Ours has only grown stronger, and I think it's so powerful because we know we have that power deep down. But at the same time, when there's no conflict, we adopt the mindset of the samurai, which means in times of peace, we go to war with ourselves.
Yeah,
and Serbs, we go to war with ourselves, and with each other, because we only know conflict, and we are at our best. Humans in general, we celebrate life through conflict, through really hard times. You'll never see somebody more happy after they've, survived something so dangerous and so perilous. But when life becomes a little bit flat, meaning times of peace, we find some way to conflict with each other. We find some way to go to war with each other.
Two things. The superpower from ASEAN, and that's it. That's the guidelines of Serbia. That's it.
That's all you need to know.
We had really a great portion of wars here, But I think those wars made these people who they are, Because, as you said, when there's no conflict, I think just people are bored,
Yes.
They don't know what to do. Like, let's make something. I'm gonna throw this rock at my neighbor, so it becomes fun.
Yes.
Because I had when I was in Homolje, there were two grannies living, and they're full on in that kind of witchcraft and stuff like that. And there was this little grandpa living there, just drinking rakia all day and doing nothing. So he was. I can draw a parallel to that. Why we need conflict. He took 2 chicken legs and wrapped some red thread around them, and throw one in this yard and one in this yard. So when those grannies came out to him, like, what happened? Oh, this one throw that, and this one, and he watched the whole conflict of that. It was like Warcraft. So we need that tension to be alive, I guess.
Yes.
Because we suffered a lot, so we don't know anything else.
It's built into our nervous systems.
Yeah.
And we don't know peace. We don't know how to deal with peace.
Exactly.
Some of those dedas by the water who are fishing, they know peace in their own individual mindset. But in this collective mindset in Serbia, it's tough. And the worst part about it is that you see people with their friends developing such strong bonds, and friendship means a lot over here.
Yeah.
But family falls apart pretty quickly, because those are the people you're closestly emotionally connected to. And when you have that close emotional bond, then there becomes dependency and all of the other, traumas that are unresolved that, people desperately want to be resolved. and that are caused by one another. And so your friends usually aren't involved in that trauma. You grow up together, communicating with each other about how you lived traumatically or what you've survived through, and so you find this common bond. But with your family, it's like, yes, we're always impacting each other, and then it's sad to see in Serbia there's quite a state of separation and division in families, brothers who don't talk to each other, cousins, and parents and children, because we don't want to get to that common ground of understanding and speak just plainly and blanketly about our emotions, because that's something we typically avoid. So
it was built into us by communism, because before communism, we lived in great communities like 2 or 3. You had your parents were living on the same ground as you with your wife and kids, and their parents are living like they're this whole community, and it was easier because you have the oldest one, the elder, who gives the orders, and there's a lot of people who are involved in that small space that you have, and it cannot fail. It can only grow. And when communism came, a lot of people from the villages they put into factories and built in that mindset: you, only you, and you have to bring to the community. But in a way, you work like a shift of 10 hours and you gave your toll to the state and whatever that was at that time. And family was not necessarily on the first place, and it fucked up a lot. So people became separated, and especially in that time, religion was banned because neighbors and cousins reported each other for Slava, or some religious thing, and that was a big no-no here. So you had a beef with your neighbor, and you just called the service, whatever you call it, whatever, but Slava, and they're coming taking it. It really made us into the worst kind of people that we can be. It's now changing. It's far away, but I think we need 10 to 20 years to filter all of that out, just to be the best as we can be. And there's a lot of people not just in Serbia, in the whole Balkan region, that are now finding this, not necessarily pagan, but this nature cult. And there's a lot of these gatherings on the mountains where people come together and drink and talk, and there's some lectures. And I think that is the most important thing for us right now, to find that unity again as a tribe necessarily, because not all people are bad. There's 10% of bad people who make shit here, Other people are chill. I don't have a problem with this Croat dude. He's my brother. I can drink. But a lot of parents made a really great mistake after the Balkan Wars here, because from their early age they taught their children to hate the other guy. I mean, okay, people who were in that war, involved in that war, I can understand that. I can understand that fully because it was a really bloody war. Because Serbs can't do anything light. It has to be the worst possible. And I can understand those people. But your kids don't have to be the same, because it will happen again. Let's just all sit down and be like, okay, we did this. It didn't work out. Let's try it differently. No.
Now, trying to take the higher road is almost impossible when you've been impacted emotionally by something. Let's say you lost a brother, you lost an uncle, whatever. So it's so easy to hate, let's say, an Albanian, or it's so easy to hate a Bosnian. If you lost somebody directly because of that conflict, and then you can say to yourself, as a human, I understand why you harbor that resentment. But when you are disconnected from it, especially me, I look at it from a global perspective. All men are my brothers. Even my African friends in Australia, Japanese, we're all the same motherfucker.
There were some far right guys that this white power shit. I'm like, dude, the skin, skin color. It's because of the continent where they are.
Yeah.
It's fucking sunny whole year. It's supposed to be. You know, if you go there and live for 20 years, you will be black. It doesn't matter. There's good people, there's bad people. That's it.
That's it. That's really it. It's that simple, but it's not that simple for people because, again, emotions is what divides it all. You know, I think deep down, you put somebody in a cave for 100 days. After that 100 days, they will say to themselves, okay, we're all the same. Because they will have dealt with all that undealt with emotion. They will have realized, okay, you know, the man struggling to the right of me and to the left of me, no matter how they look, we are all the same, you know, primate. We are all the same species. But it's easier to hate. It's easier to divide. It's easier to say, I'm better than you, you know, create your own, you know, whether it's nationalism or promoting your religion or whatever. It's so easy for us as humans to fall into groups and to claim superiority and latch onto that. It's very hard to say no. We're all equal. There's only good and bad people. There's good white people. There's bad white people. There's good black people. There's bad black people. There's good of everybody. There's bad of everybody. And if you want to start looking at people on an individual level, you have to do way more homework. There's way less involved if you say, no, my group is good, your group is bad, right? It's a shortcut for our psyche. But if you really want to treat people on an individual basis, you need to get to know somebody. You need to sit down with them, talk to them, understand them. And that's the homework that a lot of people don't want to do. And I think growing up in New York, that's the beautiful perspective that you're given. You don't end up having to, you don't have to have a heart of gold, and you don't have to end up liking and understanding individuals in New York. There's still plenty of racist and hateful people in New York. But what you do have is the opportunity to learn about every single culture, to learn about every people, and then make your choice from a place of education. And most people in New York end up realizing the same truth, that we are all the same motherfucker, right? We're just on this planet trying to make it, trying to survive. And you're going to run into good and you're going to run into bad. But when you're in a smaller community, when you don't know about the other side, when you've never met, you know, a black person, you've never had a 2-hour conversation, you know, with a Japanese man or whatever it is, it's easy for you to say, no, we're better. You know, I whatever I see through the screen, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. Your whole culture is spoiled. My culture is good. It's just a shortcut. It's easy.
I have an amazing story actually about that. Near Užice, there is a mountain, and actually my wife was there picking malinas, yes? And there was this guy there from Britain, but he's Indian. He's brown. And there's this other guy who is like, when you say stereotypical Englishman, that's him. You know, pale. So they went to this dude who lives up in the mountains and never had contact with anything. And like, he was talking to this Indian and like, I'm British. Okay, so are you? No, you can't be British. I'm black. So it's just the perspective, nothing else, you know.
Yeah.
And in those like primitive things, you see how it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you have to struggle side by. I just again went to Stara Planina. 5 days hike, 4 days sleeping in a tent, whatever.
It's an amazing.
It became very quick, you know, to realize we're all the same person when we're stranded on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Who was offering what from their heart, from their mind, from their soul. That's what mattered, not from their cultural perspective or their skin or whatever. Right? We all were one people up there on top of the mountain, and again, it's what we realize through struggle. What a lot of people realize, I guess, when they start battling and fighting. They start questioning themselves, okay, what am I fighting for? Am I fighting for a higher cause that's bringing people together? Or am I fighting for some political agenda that's going to separate us even more?
I think during the World War I, but I'm not sure, maybe it was the Germans and the English were in two different trenches across some playing field, and it was Christmas.
Mm.
On that day, they all pulled up their boots and played football.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we're finished now. Let's go back and, you know.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll kill you, but today, football.
Yeah, it's Christmas, you know. I can kill you today.
Humans are interesting. They're so interesting. And then, you know, it's sad to think about how many people died for somebody else's agenda, how many more Christmas soccer games we could have had, you know, instead of, you know, the bloody wars. But humans are also again, we're animals and we follow orders and we go with, whoever is above us telling us what to do. We fall in line and then we think about it after, or we don't because we're dead, right? But how do you maintain that independence? How do you think for yourself? How do you not follow higher orders? How do you, how do you really maintain your own? What is the word I'm looking for? It's like a philosophical term, for basically choosing your own path. And, but again, when politics and all of these other values in society are controlling, and pushing their agenda on you, what to think, what to say, now we have people who are choosing far right or far left.
There's no,
when we really want to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, there's no middle ground.
Right, there's no middle ground at all. If you want to be part of the crew, if you want to really, be part of a group, the groups are far right and the groups are far left. There's not a lot of people in the middle. And those that are in the middle, they're very quiet. Because they're like, look, we're all wrong and we're all right at the same damn time.
But no, the people like in some form of, how do you call that, extremist or something like
extremism.
People like to go because mine has to be better.
Yes.
Especially here in Serbia, in some parts. Yeah. Some parts are like, sure.
Yeah.
Fuck who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, did you have like a language barrier when you came here first in Gradište?
Oh, for sure, and it still exists. I would say my Serbian is at like 50% proficiency.
Yeah, but it's good. We can understand each other.
Yes. Yeah. And I can understand much better than I can speak. And of course, Gradište is not a place where everybody is super educated in the English language. So, yeah, there's no choice. I have to sit there and I have to listen, and I have my ChatGPT open. So if there's a word I don't know, boom, I'm researching and looking up right away what certain phrases mean. They're speaking in Vlaški, cursing each other out, so there's so many barriers, but it's the one barrier you don't have to go through is the barrier of acceptance and love.
Yeah.
And as long as that's there, the language we'll figure that out.
Yeah,
we'll figure out how to communicate.
Trying, it's okay. Yeah.
Even if it's a wink or a laugh or, just like, I'll laugh at a joke that I don't even understand fully, but I'm laughing because everybody else is full of laughter,
It's non-verbal communication.
We're just speaking the same language and enjoying the vibes and the vibration. And, I guess in the city, again, people like, they're almost, they go to a city and they start hiding themselves because there's almost too much environmental stimulation, right? And so they end up staying in their apartment more and only going out when they make plans. When you go live in a place like Gradište, yes, there's a language barrier, but there isn't a communication and socialization barrier. You're walking by the kafana after a long day of work, your neighbor goes, and you gotta go. At least say hi and then say bye if you don't want to drink. But more times than not, you sit down for a rakia or a beer and you have a end of the day conversation. That doesn't happen in the city. No one's gonna see you, in Belgrade or let alone New York, 8 million people where you run into your friend and goes, come, let's have a drink. Old school style, old school way of communicating. It's awesome.
I feel like in the bigger communities you're invisible,
Yeah.
But in the smaller communities, just like that.
Yeah.
Come here.
I don't know. This is the third time. You owe me a beer.
Yeah. It's good because here, in Serbia in general, people are working a lot because, the inflation, the whole situation that is happening, you have to make the money to survive. Yeah, because if you don't, and that end of the day, that decompressing, it doesn't necessarily have to be kafana. It can be a park, it can be a yard or whatever. Right. But that decompressing moment is crucial for the mindset of these people. Because I think if we don't have that, we will go insane.
Yeah.
It's a strange vibe. Everybody leaves their problems aside, and we are talking about about football, about anything. Because if it's all just money, you go insane. It's not normal, So that decompressing moment for the Serbs, it's really important.
Crucial. Yeah. And I see that for everybody. I mean, some people decompress too much. They decompress more than they work. Right? Some people work more than they decompress. But it's always like we just said. It's always this battle of trying to find a balance of living and working, and it's easier to find that in a place like Gradište where things are still very inexpensive. You know, your pljeskavica is 300 dinars. Not in even Belgrade where it's double the price now.
Yeah.
You can find a pljeskavica for under 700 dinars. So, you know, you need to have some hustle about you because there's opportunity to make money, especially if you're young. You know, working in IT industries or even doing something with your hand, right? Like the town is always in need of good maestros, and the town is always in need of
now more than ever.
somebody with skills.
Yeah.
Yes, you know. So if you apply yourself, and then you know how to decompress after work,
that's it.
You just live a good, clean life.
Yeah.
You really do. But like we spoke about, addictions and other things that are really rattling society now, and it's not necessarily the hardcore addictions. A lot of us are strapped under these lower level dopamine addictions, you know, whether it's gambling or pornography or video games or retail addiction, whatever it is. People are more concerned about decompressing, not through nature or not through camaraderie. Now they're decompressing in other ways and less healthier ways. You know?
They're seeking dopamine in different places, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a problem because we can separate it.
Yes.
Because the best thing about my day is like doing a hard day of work. Fucking hard day. I travel a lot, deliver a lot. And I come home and there's this thing that my wife does every single day that I come from work. Like there's cold beer on the table. Okay, there's some food, yes, but cold beer and this little dude that's like running, Dad! Everything just goes.
Yeah.
And I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I don't care about work anymore. You go fuck yourself. And then we sit down, have a drink. Like that is the. I think that is the how do you call it? I can't find a word. It's a thing that's keeping me in that right place. Of course, I have many friends and I come to drink. That's all good. And that was my decompressing when I didn't have wife and a kid.
Mm.
Nowadays, like, okay, you can, my friends are calling me, like, come on, let's go tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm doing this right now.
Yes.
And the balance between that social life with your friends and your family, it's very important, and that keeps Serbs here alive.
Yes.
You know, we don't have money for kids here in Serbia. It's a struggle, you know, but there is kids.
Yeah.
Because the best thing you can do is make another great human here.
Yes.
Through these tough times, so he can live a pleasant life. Not like pleasant to be spoiled or something like that. No, you have to struggle a bit. I will show you the struggle, so you know what I went through, and you need to be better than me.
Yeah.
And I've done my job.
Yes.
But a sad thing here in Serbia is that a lot of people are choosing not to have kids.
Mm.
And I know a lot of people in my surroundings that no, I don't want that because I don't know, money. So and I'm like, yeah, but we need these kids. We need that. This land, this country is dying. You know, it's a very old country. There's a lot of old people. Like Italy, perhaps it's the same thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be Serbia. And I think with this growing thing, a lot of migrations and stuff, I'm afraid we will lose our identity in this. We have a great history, a great culture, there are great people, but we are losing it like bit by bit. And that's why I was amazed when you came here from the US, like, I'm going to finish. Wow, nice. Okay. Oh, that's cool. So, you're planning on staying here, or you're planning? Yeah, you're staying here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be in Gradište from May to October every year during the season, and then Belgrade during the winters.
Yeah, but in Serbia, yeah.
Serbia, 11 months out of the year. I probably will go back to New York 1 month a year to be with my family because we'll all congregate there, unless they all decide to come to Gradište. But still, Mama's in New York, and we all go where Mama goes.
Okay, that's a Serbian thing also.
But, she's supposed to retire in a couple of years as well, so we'll see where she ends up. Deciding to really spend most of her days. So everything is up in the air as far as what the family wants to do. But my plans are to be in Serbia, 11 months out of the year at least.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But yeah, I agree with what you were saying about the declining birth rate. I think is a very global issue as well. That we see across a lot of cultures that we think like Japan, for instance, right? Beautiful culture, beautiful.
Yeah,
you want them
old,
to
yes.
you want them to preserve that. They bring a lot of value to the world, but they have one of the lowest birth rates, and then coupled with that, Serbia also has the strongest desire for people who are born here to also leave the country.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not just the birth rate, it's also the mass migration out of Serbia, looking for opportunity, looking for all that stuff. So I think Serbia needs to do a better job of trying to keep people at home. And of course that boils down to the government and politics and all that stuff. And we're not anywhere near perfect, in that. Of course, we're dealing with our own level of corruption and all that. But again, I like to point out to people here that that's all a global issue. Corruption is everywhere.
Exactly.
Shitty politicians are everywhere. You have to make the decision, if you're a good person especially, to have a kid and figure it out. Because kids, they need a little bit of food and they need a lot of love.
Exactly.
And that's it. They don't need the latest iPad. They don't need the latest toy. They don't need the latest chair. They don't need the latest toy. They need love. And if you can offer them that, if you can offer them your energy and your love, then they're going to grow up and be perfectly fine human beings. But if you think you need $10,000 a year, because the latest breast pump or this or that, you don't need that.
Our grandpas and grandmas didn't have that.
No.
And they gave birth to the amazing generation of people.
Yes. Less is more, I was going to say.
Yeah.
As well. Let kids struggle a little bit. Let them fight. Not having all of the latest distractions, right? The iPads,
yes,
all of the latest things to keep them mute. No, you want their brain to start figuring things out as early as possible. And that comes with struggling a little bit. Wrestling with your kid and, play fighting, all of these things, not making it easy for them, putting them into sports as early as possible. So, we have this idea, we want our kids not to struggle like us. No. Kids need to struggle.
Exactly.
It's good for them, Let them feel love through the struggle. Let them feel like they're accomplishing something through the struggle. But struggle is healthy. Struggle is healthy for human beings. Again, it goes back to us as a people, right? It's like when we struggle, we're at our best.
Exactly. Peak performance,
Peak performance.
It's for the serves.
Yeah, we're wired in that way, But we also have to realize a lot of humans are as well, right? We appreciate life the most when life is vulnerable. We appreciate things the most when they're fleeting and we don't necessarily have access to them. Once we have access to too much, it's no longer of value to us as human beings. So, make a struggle, live through the struggle, and that also becomes your motivation, your stories to say, okay, I don't have it easy. I don't make it easy for my kid every single day. No, he's gonna appreciate that so much more. He's gonna grow into a tough, resilient adult.
Exactly.
You give them softness, you give them too much easy route, too much excitement, then they're going to be left with empty, open hands the rest of their life. Like, where's the excitement from childhood? Where's, all of that distraction that you offered me? So,
the first thing that we did, my boy is now 2 years old, and I see a lot of parents, because when you get a kid, you hang out with parents and couples. You cannot go day drinking with your kid, and you can, but it's not that fun. So a lot of people are like, we just sit down like you and me right now, and the kid is like, here's the phone.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's a screen. It's dopamine. It's not that.
They're pressing the mute button on their child.
Exactly.
And that's what a lot of the iPads and the cell phone is now. It's like, mommy is annoyed, daddy's annoyed. Here's this device. It'll put you on mute, and then I get my peace. But it's creating the wrong wiring, the wrong signaling in the child, right? So to say, okay, if I need to relax, I need this external, influence. I need this dopamine to then be settled, and I need to escape into this digital, platform for whether it is 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour in order to calm down.
Yes.
You don't need that, right? You need to regulate your own emotions, through thought, through breathing, whatever it is that that helps you regulate your emotion, but it's not through the screen, because that again, it's just putting on pause.
Exactly.
Just putting all of that stuff on pause. So
I was really lucky because I'm into Slavic mythology and all this European traditionalism and all that spiritual stuff. My wife is more into Indian culture and
Buddhism.
Yeah, it's a really good mix actually.
Yeah.
Because our child is going like when he was 11 months, 10 or 11 months, we like immediately like car sea, put him in the sea. He's like, he can't walk, but he's in the sea. He's feeling the sand. He's
Yes.
Then when we came to Serbia and he started walking, we once a week we are at the river, we are at the mountain, and we had this. His grandma bought him this toy, interactive toy or something like that, and we brought it with us to the mountains. For him, and that's the great success for me, it was fun for 2 minutes. And he was like, huh, grana! And that's it, he picked up a branch and smacked things around. And because we have 2 dogs, and he's always playing with those dogs. We had Dutch hounds.
Yes, nice.
And it's like, and they're chasing around, and he's falling, and mommy, and I get up. So I think our kids are poisoned by this because, okay, now he's at peace. You can drink your fucking latte or beer or whatever, but you're ruining that child because he will only get dopamine from that, and the real dopamine is out there through people, through nature, through whatever. Sit somewhere where there is someone talking, and the kid will pick it up, because they're mimicking everything.
Yeah,
they're learning, they're adventurous. That mindset of a little kid, if a man or a woman can adopt that, there's no limit.
100%.
There's no limit for it. You have to try. Okay, you failed. Fuck, let's go. I tried. I had 3 businesses before this, and when I did this with my wife, it was a whole different experience, and it's working. But in those other businesses, it's going okay. Let's go. Right. I don't necessarily need to push something that is dead.
Yeah.
But
receive the signal that you're receiving.
Exactly.
Right? It's to say, okay, it's not working for some reason. It's also maybe because you didn't love those other businesses as much as the soul that you're pouring into this place, right? And I think one of the lessons I learned in Gradište was connection people. So whether we're talking about the way kids need to interact, right? The way they distract themselves are they connecting with their dog, by playing tug of war? Are they connecting with the kid next door by playing manhunt, whatever they play together, sports? Are you connecting with people at work every single time? Yeah, sometimes the drunk people annoy, whatever, but you're still meeting new people, connecting with new people. And that's one of the major variables for us as human beings is that also helps us live till age 100, right? It's health, of course, but community and connection are the most important fucking things for human beings, right? And they give us life and they extend our lives. And so if you're doing something that involves community and connecting to other people in an authentic way, that can extend your life, that can bring a level of happiness that you also didn't expect, and then also a level of success that you didn't expect. And so you found your niche, you found you found where you can make money, but also find community and bring community. You're creating community essentially with a place like this.
Exactly. Now, especially in towns like Požarevac and Gradište, you need these kind of places. Because that's why people are leaving. I'm not saying I'm doing some here, I'm creating whatever. No, but if you give them something that is relaxed, chill, and everybody's accepted with their opinion or whatever they will do, bring, or just chill and relax and have nobody bother them, people run away. And that's why places like this and some other places that I know near here are, they're necessary,
Yeah. Yeah. The decompression you were talking about.
Exactly.
You want to decompress not only, but you want to decompress in an environment that helps you really decompress, meaning listening to the music you want to listen to, being around like-minded individuals. That really helps you decompress. Not always can you sit by the river and just stare at the water flow. Maybe that's how some people decompress. But again, it comes down to community. There's nothing better than being in the truck all day, I'm sure, by yourself, and then you see your best friends sitting, relaxing, talking about life, and that's real decompression. Spilling your heart while drinking your beer. Life is good.
Hey, boys, thank you for this beautiful conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, first of all. And I hope I will see you more often.
Yes.
I will call you for some
events
here.
Yes.
And we will come to Gradište to Gitariada soon. So we can hit you up.
Yes.
The whole family is coming. The dogs.
Awesome.
Oh, you have dogs?
Yeah, I have 2 Dutch hounds.
Oh man, my favorite thing is dogs. I love dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you.
Hvala.
Vidimo se, drugari, u sledećoj epizodi Soba podcasta. Ćao!